Because the amount of times that I think about, am I in the right position, or could I have been in a better position? Am I doing the right thing, or could I be in a better place? What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? Fact of the matter is, I I don't know. I don't know. But what I do know is there's been a slight hesitation with playing TEW. Hell, there was a slight hesitation with streaming today as a whole, and I know that seems like it's something that has been happening a little bit more often. And I mean, honestly, I know why. It's just because, honestly, it's because what I feel like is what I feel like I want to play. It's not going to get attention. I always talked about doing that, but I never actually did it because I never wanted to. Because I knew playing games like this would not get attention. I knew playing things like this put me in the confines of a wrestling channel. And I didn't want to be confined to that. But the reality of the situation is, when it comes down to it, if I want to stream, do I want to stream or do I want to play things that people might watch? Do I want to stream or do I want to care about the numbers? And I think I want to stream. And if the numbers come, the numbers come. If they don't, then, so be it. That sucks. But solid show by Texas. Should have figured Johnny was going to be up for renewal because Malcolm's up for renewal. Did we steal him? We did not. I don't think I'm ready to yet. Let's see how things go because things are about to change. Because we got one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year coming up. The Challenge. It's what we were building. We're part of what we were building towards. The big picture of what we're building towards is Micky Star not being world champion anymore. But what has changed since the last time is that Aries Titans are no longer. Aries Titans are no longer. They disbanded last month, which means that Aries is out. Hagar, Mighty Thor, and Kronos don't have a faction anymore. Gone Hollywood is going away. Wildman Sullivan's finally feuding with Micky Star because I finally pulled the trigger on that. Deadly Gamble's got Rick Rumble and Micky Star. And Ray Kingman is reaching his final form in his feud with the All-Star team. But now we jump in. Rick Rumble and Dynamite Rudy. Rick Rumble's actually been taking a few people under his wing. Unfortunately, it's Blaine Durham and Dynamite Rudy, but let's go back. Northwest for the last one. Great Lakes for the one before that. Midwest. New England back in May. Tri-State. Midwest. Southeast, Mid-South, New England, Great Lakes, Mid-Atlantic, New England. So I think probably either Mid-South or New England should be where we go. I mean, Mid-South or Mid-Atlantic should be where we go. I think since we haven't done a show in Mid-South since May, which was probably the opening episode of Slugfest in May, I think we go here. You know what? Let's check this too. I mean, part of me wants to go there, but part of me also likes going there and seeing sell out, sell out, sell out. So I don't know if I want to. Here, we'll go to Hawthorne Field in the tri-state. So we'll go through this. We'll go through the streets. Um, we'll go through the streets Revelry in a minute. I already mentioned that. I already mentioned that. So now we jump in and figure out what's going to open. And I think I know what's going to open. It's going to be the grudge match with Hollywood Mike Kinsey and Brick Fantana. Former tag team. Mike was joined by Larry Grubbs, Perry Fink, and Romeo Hart. Brick Fantana took exception. He didn't like the extra people. He didn't need them. Mike did because it was more people that gave him attention and stroked his ego. And Brick took exception. Brick didn't like it. Brick wanted to get rid of him. Mike disagreed. So Mike sent Brick away and chose Perry, Larry, and Romeo instead. We will actually open with the tag team match because we've been building up this tag team match for a bit with the Blue Blood and the Blazing Flames. So we're going to open with that. This way I can do a promo bit for Hollywood right before. Brick wants to say that I've become transparent. That I'm not anything more than a catchphrase. Well, believe whatever you want. I don't care about your opinion anymore. Tonight marks the end of the historic reign. Tonight marks the end of Micky Star. Because, for those who might not be aware, Micky Star has actually held a championship and has been the only champion in the history of Supreme Wrestling since 1972. Micky Star is the guy. Micky Star also won the tag team titles with his fellow Team Supreme stablemate Rick Rumble a couple months ago, and those two have been the leaders of the tag team division as well. But Micky Star, he took more on. You know, that's basically what he did. He took more on, and I mean, it may not have gotten to him yet, but it's going to get to him soon. You have to figure, because you can only double book yourself so many times before your energy. You can only run yourself so much into the ground before your energy runs out. And, you know, you got to figure that, especially being double booked tonight, teaming against Dudley Gamble and against Wildman Sullivan, it's going to take a lot out of Micky Star. As for the United States Championship, the Streets of Rage have been holding this title for the better part of the last year almost, with Dusty winning it back in October, and then feuding with Dudley Gamble, and then winning the title back to lose it to his brother, and now he's been feuding with his brother since May. But tonight, as per request from Rocky, Dusty, and Sid's dad, tonight is when it ends. Because on the last episode of Slugfest, Rocky asked, if you want me out of this, then settle it once and for all. Settle it so we can all move on. Settle this. Give us peace of mind and get it done. Dad wants us to settle this. And settle this we will. Tonight, inside a cage. I will end this, Dusty. I'm trying to piece it together as best I can, and I think the best way to do it is like this. Spacing out spacing out the title matches. Acting. I honestly don't know any of my referees. Wait, Bird is it's not a referee. Benny Guardado, he's a referee. Deadly Gamble is arguing with Benny about the count, claiming they got back in time. And I'm actually going to switch this. Huh. Actually, no, this makes more sense. He's winning by the skin of his teeth. He won by the skin of his teeth. I appreciated the kind words at first, and you have a bright future. But I'm not hiding anything. See, the extent of the All-Star team versus Ray Kingman is the All-Star team versus Ray Kingman is basically the All-Star team's insinuating that Ray Kingman has an ego, and the ego came up in his feud with Alex Pierce because it was a youngster, not showing respect to the established veteran, and they're trying to make Ray Kingman show his ego and show how egotistical he is. Ray's trying to show that he's not egotistical, which is planting the seeds and throwing more, bigger picture. It's pointing more towards the bigger picture. And I think we can I was gonna say I think we can have Ray and Richie go, but I think I'm gonna try and factor in another match or two. I'm gonna take that as a compliment, Moon Lewis. My offer. Speaking of Alex Pierce, my offer to you, Alex, is a spot to sit under the learning tree and join the All-Star team. Sid, I never wanted this. I never wanted to fight you. But if this is what it takes to get you back, then so be it. Brother versus brother inside of a steel cage. Sid versus Dusty. And Dusty gets the win. Because Shane Vanros slams the cage door in Sid's face, leaving people wondering what the hell is going on, and asking the question, is Dusty joining Hagar? And angry with Hagar, with Shane, looks over and sees Hagar, confused, while tending to Sid. They've only fought each other once, so let's put them in the ring. Gets the 1%ers out there, and then gets the amazing Greek twins out there again. Richie, Marcus, Drake, Ray can claim ignorance and keep lying to you people, but we know the truth, and we know he's hiding his real feelings, his true ego. Ray Kingman, Richie Pangrazio Jr. Rick Rumble, the Blazing Flames want another shot, but Deadly Gamble appear, claiming the match earlier they were robbed, and Micky is ready to give both a title shot, but Rick interrupts him and says no. Rick interrupts him and says no. Romeo Aarons, Romeo Hart. Will this be good to calm the crowd? And then we move to the main event. we move to the main event of the evening, the world title match. The match that I've been building up for a long time. I wish this didn't come. This didn't happen. I wish it didn't come to this. But this was going to happen one way or the other. It was just a matter of when. I'm glad it happened when I was still here. Micky Star versus Wildman Sullivan for the SWF World Heavyweight Championship. The challenge is our season finale. The challenge is our WrestleMania. And let's see if it lives up to expectations for his 53rd successful title defense and their 9th successful title defense. Let's see what happens. I think I actually want to throw some people on the pre-show because I feel like I'm not using people enough. Like, we'll throw you two on the pre-show. We'll throw Marcus and Damian Carruthers on the pre-show. Somebody, Benny Guardado. Now let's see what happens with the challenge. Well, I had no doubt that that was going to happen, but Marcus beat Damian. I probably could have had the All-Star team up. You know, Drake and Damian. I mean, Drake and Marcus. But I didn't really want Drake and Marcus to go against War Eagles because I'm not really going to push the All-Star team as a tag team. I mean, I'd say I'm putting it off because I'm skeptical about how well we did because it is an important show and I'm just hopeful that we did well. Solid. I mean, I don't, I, you know, I mean, I do have a bad habit of tunnel vision, and I think to a degree because of how focused I am with certain stories, and how involved I am with certain stories, it makes me fixate on some things rather than others. Rick and Mickey Star. Blackjack was counted out. Mickey Star won by the skin of his teeth. Ace and Blackjack. Best segment possible that I could have done with a referee. best segment possible I could have done with a referee. Ray Kingman. And the first time I actually involved the referee in a long, long time in a segment. Ripcord, that's why I threw him on. Dusty. I wish I would have included it as the finish, but it still came off the way I wanted it to, because it's pretty obvious at this point that there's something there with Hagar, Shane, and Angel Riley, as Hagar's got himself a new faction and they got a problem with the Streets of Rage. As we now shift over to a different story, the Streets versing Hagar, Shane, and Angel Riley. Mayhem and the Greek brother, Mayhem and Knight and the Knight Rider. The All-Star team appears. A very, very solid match with Richie and Ray Kingman, and they don't even have good chemistry. They're just that damn good. Solid piece for Ray Kingman and a good tip of the cap. And that's what I wanted. As I don't know when I want to make Micky Star lose the world title yet, but I'm trying to figure out when I want to make him lose the tag team title. And it was a solid way. It was solid. It did its job. They had good chemistry. I'd been building this up. Aaron Maskowitz did good work at ringside. Larry Grubbs did good work at ringside. It brought the crowd back down after a solid match with, Ray Kingman and Richie. So it did what it was supposed to do. You know, it did what it was supposed to do. That's all you can ask for with this type of match. Solid mid-card match. Yeah.
What time are you going to work?
Oh.
Well, if Brian gets food at 7:30 and gets here at 8:15, will you have time to eat it, or are you going to work?
Oh, I'll have time to eat it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't ask for a bag.
Do you want to give me a bag?
I don't know. Do you want a bag?
I know that's the first thing Robbie will say when I show it to him.
Oh yeah, he was here for like 5 minutes before.
Oh.
End of my shift because I sold the dart card. I gave him last week to look at for grading, which was shit. Can I have Brian look at Uber again, see if there's any deals, because he gets better deals than I do.
Fair enough. Basically, this is the start of Aries' future without Aries Titans. And he's basically saying that he knew that that there would come a time where Aries Titans would not be a thing. He just figured that it would be when he was gone, and that Hagar would take over. But he's glad to see the end of it because now he gets to watch his proteges become stars while he's still here. A little disappointing, but it's also not in New England. It was in the tri-state, so they're not. I mean, Wildman's not as popular in the tri-state as he is in New England. I was thinking about moving it to try and maximizing the possibility, but the fact of the matter is, I'm happy with it nonetheless. And a solid show. I think that's right along with one of our best shows yet. I probably should have given it to Ray Kingman. Richie, but the Streets are just as good. And I just wait. What did I move? Monthly. Did I? Oh, did I hit the wrong button? What did I do? Special August. I don't want to do because I don't want to do. I don't want to have another big show. You know, honestly, I don't. I don't want to have another big show. So we eliminate this. This goes away. This honestly goes away. Micky gets added to this one, along with Teddy and Joey. I'm going to throw Babbitt in here too. Add the whole story. Has been guarded, but now, through threats, rage from becoming whole again. Ripcord recently offered Alex Pierce the chance to join the All-Star team. But not everyone is happy is scouting. Rip, Alex, Drake, Richie, Marcus, and of course, Coach. Wait. So initially, Wildman Sullivan was supposed to come in as a heel and be an uncontrolled wild man. But for lack of a better word, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. And now I made the mistake of not making him a heel and checking his status before he started. So he's a babyface. So now I got to take him in a different direction of not being an uncontrolled monster and trying to have James Silverman tap into that uncontrolledness and bring that out of him and get that uncontrolled monster out. because otherwise Chaim is going to lose his monster and not have any sort of control. Hollywood shows a lack of respect. Recently, Antonio Moretti was honored and Mike Kinsey took exception not being honored, ruining what was supposed to be a night to celebrate a legend. So I've been thinking about how to get Antonio Moretti on the show and actively involved. And I think the easiest way is to go back and use the guy that I wanted the opportunity to do something with. Wanted the guy Mike was Dusty and Sid before Dusty and Sid. You know, Mike was someone that I just liked, throwing on the show and always had to use and always had to give attention to because I just like the simple segments of using his nickname, Hollywood, as something of a as something of a calling card, I guess. I guess you could call it a calling card. And I made the choice to also, as you guys saw, include Baron in the feud, which means Baron Samedi is also a member of PCC, which I had what I wanted to call it, but right now they are white hot and they just debuted. Perfect. Perfect. So now, fast forward to August, and we already got matches for the August show as Drake McWade, Alex Pierce, and Rocky Streets, Dusty Streets versus Shane versus the Visionary and Angel Riley. I don't know what I want to do with Mickey Star yet. I don't know what route I want to take, but what I do know is it's going to go. It's going to play a part with the Deadly Gamble and Blazing Flames in some form or fashion because I think one of those two teams will be the teams to dethrone Rick and Micky Star. The current plan, though, is. I thought the current plan was Ray Kingman in October, but I guess I changed that plan. The current plan was, or if the plan a few months ago was Ray Kingman and Micky Star in October and then run the rematch in January. At through King of the Squared Circle, but I don't know. Because it's sort of like Micky Star has been the champion for so long that making the decision to take the belt off of him, it's a big decision. It's a big decision, and I just want to know that I'm making the right choice. I just want to know that I'm making the right choice. And I can't know that I'm making the right choice until I do it, but it's a tough decision. Because I've thought about Ray Kingman, I've thought about one of the Flames, I've thought about one of the Streets, I've thought about Wildman Sullivan, I've thought about somebody that I signed, and then I would have to push them extremely heavy to get them to the position where they could fight Micky Star. I thought about Rip Cord. I thought about a lot. I've thought about a number of people. Surprisingly, one of the people I never thought about was Hagar, because I don't want to have Micky Star lose to Hagar, because Micky Star. I thought about Mighty Thor. I thought about Thor, but I changed my mind. There are bigger pictures. There are things that are going to be happening. There are plans, and I always have a bigger picture, and that's the reason for that is because I don't overdo it. I focus on the bigger pictures and just keep with the big picture. I don't go too far around, go too far down the rabbit hole. I don't go too far down the rabbit hole because I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole anymore because I lose sight of the bigger picture. And I know some people might say, oh, well, blah, 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 but the reality is I'm not the only one that goes this far into games or this game. I'm one of many people that go far into this game. And the least I can do with this kid is give him a chance. Because I've been pushing him a little bit. The least I can do is give him a chance. If he's still in the same position after the next 3 months, then he's probably going to be out the door. To be fair. But the fact of the matter is, I want to. Chaos is the one that was retiring, right? Yeah, he should be retiring soon. I mean, technically, he should be retiring in August, no? I've thought about bringing in somebody else, but I'm not sure if I want to. Like a replacement for Private Punishment, but I'm not sure that I want to. I mean, the one thing I can say is let's go see maybe how long Private has on his contract. Yeah, maybe we will bring in somebody else. Maybe we will bring in a replacement. Maybe we will bring in a replacement. Bring in a replacement. And it'll be Major Havoc. And I'm going to repackage him because I've had him already, so I'm going to repackage him as somebody else to refrain from drawing comparisons to that. When is Brick going away? I mean, honestly, if I thought people would be, if I thought he'd be re signed, I'd think about it. But with the fact that a lot of the roster has problems with him and Bert Selleck, I kind of wanted to re-sign Bert Selleck, but I also didn't want to piss him off because I didn't want to have to deal with it. I mean, I just don't see it with Brick, so I'm just gonna let him go, and I'm gonna let that thing run out. And we're not gonna go to New England. We're gonna go to Mid Atlantic because I wanted to go to Mid Atlantic before for the pay per view, but I just couldn't find the best arena, and I decided not to. Charleston Municipal Auditorium. We sold out 47,000 people, which I think the challenge is our best sellout yet. Let's go see. Our second best show ever is the challenge from 1978, which is the show we just did. I do firmly believe that 1978 has been a better year than that 1978 has been a better year than 1977 was. And all you have to do is um so I'm feeling accomplished that I was able to do that. Streets of Rage versus Blazing Flames, Streets of Rage and Ace, Ray Kingman and Richie Pangrazio. So just one match from the challenge. I mean, match wise, it seems like a mixture of 77 and 78. In the top 20, I mean, it kind of looks more like 78, but either way, we got both of our highest attendances in 1978 with the Wrestling Classic in April and the Challenge in July. 34,000 and 47,000. We're not on pay-per-view yet. That, my dear friends, is an accomplishment. Now time to bring Mr. Ken Cullen up. Oh no, he's. I honestly don't know who to pick, and this is why I might not want to. Oh, we'll throw Wade Morrison. We'll throw him a bone. Yeah, we'll throw him a bone. That's fine. We might not make it through the show, though, because I'm not just going to randomly book the show willy-nilly just to get through another show, because I stopped doing that a long time ago, because, as I said, it became pointless to just go through it for the sake of going through it with nothing really getting, not really gaining much from it. And it's not even, oh, you're playing it for the sake of playing it. It's like, no, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we gained nothing from it. Or we gained a limited amount from it. I guess is the more accurate way to say. We gained a limited amount from it. Sid, I swear to God, on our family, I had nothing to do with Hagar last night. I was just as surprised and angry as you are. I would have never done anything to jeopardize this. I would have never done anything to screw up what we were trying to accomplish and what we were trying to do. I would never do anything to jeopardize what we were trying to build. Huh. I actually have an idea for the next pay-per-view. I actually have an idea for the next pay-per-view. Joey and Teddy, Micky Star and Rick Rumble. World Tag Team title match. Ace and Blackjack, Rick and Micky Star, instead of defending his world title and the tag team titles on the same night, Micky and Rick are going to defend the tag team titles twice in one night. If they were to lose to the Deadly Gamble or the Blazing Flames, whichever match comes first, they're out of the first match, and the other team is in the second match. But yes, I think more than likely I'm probably not going to run through I'm probably not going to run through this show too. I'm probably going to leave this show for later and maybe come back to it another time or whatever the case is, because again, I don't want to do it just for the sake of it. I want to do it when the time is right. Wait. Hagar appears scouting Thor. I also just gotta make sure all the feuds start. Just this way we don't get penalized. Perry Fink, Larry Grubbs. Tonight we honor a legend and someone who paved the way, who gave everything for you people, for you, Antonio, Hollywood Mike interrupts. I knew it was the end of it. That's why I was hesitant to write more. Or type more. Mike interrupts, setting the stage for something between him and Antonio Moretti. Drake, Kevin Rogan, and now we set up the All-Star team. Coach, Richie, Alex, Marcus. And this should help Alex get better at speaking because he's not the best speaker. All-Star team. And before he can answer, Drake interrupts, saying basically that Ripcord doesn't have the ability to introduce new members to the faction, that there needs to be a vote, that there needs to be some say from those that are already in the faction, as opposed to the way things are. You know, because Rip doesn't get the final say. What makes him get the final say? Micky, you were lucky that this oaf, that this doofus showed weakness at the worst possible time. Shane looks at him. Never do that again. I take it back. We might actually be able to get through this show. I gave up everything for this dream of having my name in the lights. And I've never. And I'm done. Well, basically, it's sink or swim. You know, is he gonna do it? Is he not? It's sink or swim for Lance Rush. I forgot his name was the Visionary. Angel Riley. You might want answers, but you didn't see this coming. One and only Dusty didn't tell us anything. Dusty didn't tell us anything. We did it because Sid owes us. Or something to that effect. I know, you know what? He'd just keep it basic. Dusty, it wasn't Dusty that made us go out there. Well, we gotta do another segment here. And it's gonna be another clusterfuck, because it's just gotta be. Team Supreme. Are in the interview area, and Micky has an offer for them. To gain a title shot. Basically, Micky tried, basically how it is Rick doesn't want to keep defending the titles and being fighting champion, because he knows it's risking Micky and him keeping the belts. The more that Micky defends, because Micky's doing double duty and playing double duty, so the more Micky defends, the more of a chance Rick has of losing the championship that's keeping him relevant. So Micky tries to shift gears to announce a number one contender match between the Blazings and Deadly Gamble at the tour, the live event upcoming next week. And yes, there is a bigger picture with this one too. But I think, just because I think it would be for the best, I think I'm going to stop here, because I feel like if I keep going, I'd rather do it at my pace. I'd rather, keep booking at my pace, as opposed to thinking I got to, I'd rather just talk for a few minutes and go that route as opposed to continuing to do this. So, not that there's anything wrong with it, but I'd rather keep my pace rather than, keep going for the sake of keeping going. But what I was going to say is